We'll also be speaking with Fred Nzeako, an economist and a lawyer. He will be talking about the budget, really. And now, I don't know, do we have Fred? Hello, Fred. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us. Nigeria has been improving on its budgeting cycle with presentation and passage. Everybody has commended that happening in the same fiscal year and with the implementation starting on time. But has the budget been ably implemented?
Well, we can say that implementation is happening the same year. What we are expecting is that government has set out the timeline within which to present the 2024 budget before the end of the third quarter of 2023. But we would have expected that the budget would have been presented before now, such that it will be discussed by National Assembly and then passed into law before the end of the year, so that our budget cycle will return to January to December cycle. But be that as it may, being that we have a new government that took over power in May, one could expect, and there is just, even as at now, trying to form the federal cabinet and most of the things that are needed to be put in place for government to run seamlessly. Granted that is a challenge, we can now say that the government is not doing badly by way of the timeline for presentation. Once it is presented, we expect that National Assembly will do justice to it, so that the implementation will not delay, so that we don't eat so much into 2024 before the budget of 2024 takes off in implementation. But it is also very instructive to know that this budget seems, going by the snippet from the Minister of Budget and Planning, Atiku Bagudu, the budget of 26 trillion naira for 2024 is a humongously ambitious budget, which implementation will leave a lot to be expected of government.
The government is
going by the economic realities of today and the projections of tomorrow. I think that budget is a big, very, very ambitious.
Ambitious, all right. And then we're talking about getting another loan to support the budget in the current fiscal year. How worrisome is it for you? Because that's one concern that's being raised.
Well, it is very also very important to look at the issue this way. If you make a very big budget, a very bogus budget that is not supported by the economic realities, that's where you now begin to run around to borrow money, to plug in and have enough funds to implement the budget. A budget of 26 trillion, you now begin to ask yourself, what are the receivables? How are we going to fund this budget going by the experiences of today? Government is saying they are looking up to the fact that subsidy has been removed. They are going to do a lot of savings from subsidy, and since they are no longer paying subsidy, so in quote, according to government, that they will have enough money. And also that there's an increase in the productive capacity of Nigeria in terms of our crude oil production, which government has benchmarked at 1.78 million barrels of production per day, and benchmarking the exchange rate at 700 naira per dollar. But the basic thing is that even with all this, experience has shown that the implementation of the budgets, at least in the past 8 years, had not been anything close to 50%. And that tells you that if you go by the experiences of the past, Nigeria's budget implementation has been lackluster. And now that we have increased our budget volume, I do not know how government intends to implement that budget. Some economists will tell you
Fred, I don't want to interrupt you, but we are out of time. Well, some persons will say, let's show a little bit of optimism. I mean, the number of manpower that's been engaged in this administration, some people say, might just do the trick. I guess we'll wait and see. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Many thanks.